The biggest mistake they make when it comes to the customer experience is most companies just believe they're doing it well. They believe they're doing it well, and they've never actually found out if they're doing it well. They assume, and it's actually assumptions, I think, that really kills a lot of business, a lot of momentum, a lot of customer goodwill. Is they're just like, we assume everything is okay because we haven't heard otherwise. And either they're not listening or they're not asking. A very simple thing like stop, start, continue with clients and customers. What should we stop doing? What should we start doing? And what should we continue doing to ensure that we have your business from now until the end of time? It's not usually that extreme, but we don't want to ask. And why? Because we realize we probably aren't doing the best job we could. And I'm not trying to blame people. That life is busy. Companies are hard to run and to do with and deal with all the moving parts and all the moving platforms. But there's no excuse nowadays. We can listen to what's being said out there. We can control what we're saying out there as well, and we can manage these things. There's no excuse not to be able to scale listening. And there's a gap. There's always been a gap, and there's a famous study people always cite, which is like roughly like 85% of companies think they give exemplary service, and like 12% of customers feel they get exemplary service. That's a gap. There's a problem there. So we always think we're doing better than we are a lot of the times, and we need to listen and then act on that. I think companies fix the problem by one simple thing. If you believe that business is built on relationships, then make building them your business. And we always are chasing after the next one. It's always, to quote the poet Jay-Z, I'm on to the next one. So we're always looking for the next score, the next thing. We look at sales, and sales is always about getting that next new client, closing it before the quarter ends, going for that last spot. But we get them, and then we throw them into the machine. We throw them into the machine that may have less ability to do something. Maybe we've overpromised what we can deliver them as our product or service that we provide. And then we forget that if word of mouth is the greatest way to build new customers in a business, then we have to get those words saying the right things. People don't refer people to companies. Ecstatic people, ecstatic clients, people who love their choice of using you as a company, they're the ones that refer. But we don't look at how to improve those things, because those things are about service and operations and loyalty, and that's all built through, not through a card, not through a program, but through you promised me something and I got it, and then some. That's the whole thing. You want word of mouth, do things worth talking about. To get customers for life, you have to listen for life. They will always tell you what they need. And there's those whole things out there saying the customer doesn't know what they want, and there's truth to that. There's the whole Henry Ford thing of we have it in any color as long as it's black. And we move down, and we can use all those age-old sayings to help justify what we're doing. But at the end of the day, what Sugar does is allows you to do all those aspects. We can listen, we can say, and we can do. We can put all those things out there with the entire tool chest we have. We've got to use it. I've seen people use programs just like Sugar, where they look at, especially a CRM program, they're like, well, it's not working. And I'm like, well, okay, so did you do all the things? They're like, no, I haven't really tried it much. I haven't dove into it. And I'm like, for it to work, we've got to use things. And I always see the software side of things and the service side of things saying we're not using most things to their capability. We always say we're not using our brains to our capability. Well, we're not using our marketing automation programs, our CRM programs, all these things, we're sometimes not using them fully. I would sit down and dive in. Okay, make SugarCRM your top client originally and say, what can I do with this platform? Because it's incredible what Sugar does, and if you capitalize on it, it will change your business. The thing is, I don't get very excited for a lot of things in customer experience because I just get let down. I have so much hope. I have so much hope, and as a Detroit Lions fan, I learned not to have hope in a lot of things, and the hope is where I see potential. And that's my struggle, is for a decade now I've been talking about and writing about these type of things in customer experiences. Potential just means, I was called I had potential when I was a teenager. Okay, my mom said I had a lot of potential, and I realized when I became an adult, potential means you suck now, but maybe one day you may do something. And that's the problem with having hope. The potential for customer experience The potential with technology and disruption we have today is limitless. It's unbound what you could do with this stuff. But we don't. We sign on to a suite of products with any vendor out there, and we look at it and say, well, this is the one thing I know what to do and how to do, and I just do that. When in reality, if we explore everything we have, the future is actually now. The future was a couple years ago. There's so many tools out there being underutilized. There's so many things out there being underutilized still to this day. I think social media is still extremely underutilized or used wrong in a lot of ways by brands, that we could just look at it and say, what's the best way we can listen and talk and engage with our potential customers, our current customers, and find out if the past ones want to come back.